TG Tutorials.
I'm reliable. Hey guys, welcome to another episode of TG Tutorials. In this episode, we'll actually be using the Elgato Game Capture device, and we'll be using that to record the NES Classic Edition. Alright, so we're going to cut to me showing you what you need to make this thing work.
So the first thing that you'll need is your Elgato, which, by the way, could cost you around $100. Don't pay too much more. I mean, I personally got mine for about $100, $110. But depending on where you're buying it, you could actually bid a little bit lower than that. The next thing you'll need, which I would argue is one of the most important things you'll need in this tutorial, is your NES Classic Edition. Now, thankfully, the NES Classic Edition has been announced to be coming out again by Nintendo, so it's being re-released in 2018. So because of that, right now I would say that you shouldn't be getting one for anywhere over $200. I actually got this one for $100, and it was fairly recently. So I would definitely suggest trying to bid anywhere in that range. Please do not. I would suggest not bidding any more than $200, but I would also say that you're definitely not going to get this for the retail price, which was originally $60, which I'm sure all of us are laughing about, and many of us are crying about as well. So the next thing you'll need are two HDMI cables. The first one goes out of your NES Classic Edition into your Elgato, and then out of the other end into your television. Also be sure to have a USB cord that should have been included in the Elgato that you bought to connect it from the Elgato to the computer itself.
But moving forward, now that I've shown you what you need, let me actually show you how to do it. So let's cut to some footage of me doing just that.
First thing you'll need to do is download the Elgato Game Capture software. Make sure to go to the link listed up here, and it will be posted in the description below. Once you're down on the page like I am, go down to Game Capture for Windows and click Download. And once you download that, be sure to install the software, and then you'll see what's coming up next. Once you install it, be sure to double click and turn on the software, and then you should see something like this. And if you plugged in everything correctly with your Elgato to your NES Classic Edition, then the screen should be just like this. Now, the one thing that you will notice is do not focus on the screen itself while you're recording, because if you do, then you're going to notice that there's a lag and you won't actually be playing your game correctly. So make sure to focus on whatever monitor you're using, be it television, computer, because that is where you're going to need to focus on. Because again, if you look at your computer monitor where the footage is recording, it's not going to do you any justice. You will be delayed. Because my input commands are delayed. So that does affect live streaming if that's what you want to do. Sadly, from what I've noticed, there is no capture device available on the market that allows you to stream seamlessly. You will have to try and emulate if you want to get a perfect live feel. Either by connecting the thing to your thing being some kind of game to your computer, or putting a disc in, or whatever it might be, because you cannot do it live off your console. So if you want to actually see how to record, though, you can go down here and look at this red button right here, a shiny red button. That's how you start recording. It's actually just that simple. You can do live streaming through here as well. You can actually change the name of your live stream. You can put in your specific account, and also you get game audio over here. If you're like me and you don't want to use the game audio for fear of either if it's Twitch or YouTube taking down your video, you can actually turn the game volume down, or you could turn it up. I'm going to turn it down for right now because I don't want this video to capture that. And you have live commentary as well. You could use, instead of using your microphone with either Open Broadcast Software or Audacity, you could use it with Elgato itself, which I think is a great feature because you're able to kind of just stream it right in there. Even if you're not doing it live, you can still, although it says live commentary, but I know that you can actually record it in there even if it isn't live itself. And it comes with very own Elgato sound capture, which I don't really use or care to use, but that might be something that matters to you. Also remember that when you are recording a video, make sure to change your tags. Come down here and change your tags every time, because if you don't, it'll just create migrate capture. You don't have to add a description. I really don't care about that as much, but when you look at the video title, it will matter, because after a while, if you record a lot like I do, you're going to end up getting pretty confused if all it says is migrate capture for every single footage that you capture. So now we scroll up here and you can look at the settings. Now the settings for this device don't really matter much with the NES Classic, and they don't matter because of the fact that it's HDMI no matter what. Obviously, you know, this is an HDMI output, so you don't really need to look at your component or composite or S-video for this. HDMI audio, you can, again, doesn't really matter. You could change HD 720 to HD 1080 if that's what you want to do. It depends on your personal setup. Same thing with the quality, because obviously some computers are different than others. I know that if I was doing this on a different computer, I might need to bring the quality up because I know it can handle it. Because I think the one thing that, when looking into your computer, even if you know the specs or even if you don't know the specs, you're going to notice that different consoles react differently to your computer, and different programs do as well, where this is a new computer that I'm working on this here, and it records footage just fine through the Elgato, but sometimes when I use the open broadcast software like I'm using right now, you can end up having a lot of difficulty with that, and it becomes really frustrating. Because you do sit back and you're like, okay, I need to record this footage, and yet it is stuttering or whatever it might be. So again, make sure you know your setup and you test out your streams and your recordings to see what settings are best for you before you go live or before you think something is YouTube ready. Now that's on Capture. On Picture, I haven't messed with much of the brightness, contrast, saturation, hue. I haven't messed much with these settings on the Elgato, but if they're anything like the Roxio, they're worthless, and you might as well use the settings in your personal video editor of choice. Mine is Adobe Premiere Pro CS6, and that's what I personally do myself. Audio gain, again, sometimes it's artificial, sometimes it actually hurts it more than anything, and I'm not the biggest fan. Profile, I guess I would imagine that ends up helping you make this more your own, and potentially connecting with other people through Elgato. And when you go to advanced TV compatibility, again, TV never fades black for me, but if it does for you, this will definitely help you out. And you can go over here and click on the edit tab, which I actually do not do often. And yes, you can actually share your videos directly through the Elgato, which I think is a really cool thing to do. The Elgato really trying to make itself an all-in-one kind of device, and I don't use that myself, but honestly it could be easier for me to just link up my YouTube and my Facebook and even my Twitter and share things through here instead of having to go through all these different tabs and stuff like that. And heck, if you actually have done that yourself, then please comment in the video below and tell me how it's gone for you and your experiences with it, because I haven't personally myself. Alright guys, so we're going to wrap this video up, and we're going to jump back to me in the quote-unquote studio, right above, in front of the white wall, and I'll do some more talking for you guys. Alright, so see you in a minute.
So that about wraps things up. Thank you all so much for watching another episode of TG Tutorials, and please remember to like and subscribe. I'm pointing around me because there's some videos and stuff like that around me. Totally, there should be anyway. I would imagine there'd be like a video here, there, something, subscribe button somewhere, and a Patreon thing somewhere. So thank you all so much again. Love you guys. Please remember to like and subscribe if you liked the video. And also, if this video didn't help you, if there's something you need to ask me or some question you need to really know about, then please just comment. If you're watching this YouTube, comment in the videos section, comment section below, because I will be able to help you there. Alright guys, so thank you and see ya.